I got the Deus 2 with the 9-inch and the Deus 1 with the 9-inch HF. And I have a clad dime here at 5 inches. It's been there for about a year and a half or so, 5 inches deep, laying flat. And I have hot ground here, and I have, through the years, I've had a lot of people give me programs for like my different machines, like the Equinox and the Amphibio, and even the Deus 2 and the Deus 1 and the V3i. And whenever I get a program that somebody else has developed, I can't use them, right? I just got somebody sent me a comment with some about the Deus 2 and these certain settings that they have. And the Deus, you must understand that the Deus has a lot more settings than other detectors, and those settings are fine-tunable. And I'll demonstrate on just reactivity and audio response on this test here, right, against these two machines. And I prefer full tones in the trash and pitch tones in the iron with both of these machines here, right? And in the modern trash, full tones, right? It can really separate really good. And pitch tones, if you're in a spot that has a lot of foil or a lot of trash, you're going to be digging up trash for a long time, right? It works, the pitch tones or the pitch programs, what these machines are based on, the pitch programs are mainly used for iron, right? Hunting in a lot of iron or nails or whatnot. So I'll start with the Deus 2 first, and the program that one of my subscribers sent me, it was, I don't know what program it was based on, but it's called the Coinbase program. But it had a really high audio response and it had a really low reactivity. And I'll show you what that does in my soil and the places that I hunt in. I'm a deep high conductor, and this is a 5-inch deep clad dime, right? Just the stock program. I'll ground balance it here, right? I gotta tighten my coil up there. It's a little bit too loose. So, clad dime here. I have to be swinging really slow in the stock program, right? Because the reactivity speed is really low. It's set at 2 in the stock program here, right? And it's in 2-tone. And if you're around any EMI, like this EMI right here, right? And you're in 2-tone, you're just gonna get a lot of target tones on that EMI, right? And it's at 2 reactivity speed, right? If I swing my normal swing speed, completely miss that target, right? I have to be swinging slow, right? It'll hit it going slow. Yes, it is a deep seeking program, but if you have hot soil like me, or around a lot of EMI like the place that I hunt, right? You're just gonna get iron tones, right? It's gonna be a little hum, right? It's hitting it one way right there, right? But if I swing fast over it, it's not gonna hit it, right? And now I'll just change 2 things here, right? It's in 2-tone, discrimination 7, right? 93 gain, and with all my programs on the Deus and the Deus 1 and Deus 2, I never drop my gain down, right? There's other ways to get around the EMI, right? Changing frequencies or your audio response or your reactivity speed. There's a lot of different ways to get away from EMI, right? There's no reason to drop your gain down, right? If you drop your gain down, you are missing out on those deeper small targets. And those deeper small targets are dimes or small coins or small jewelry, right? Right? Now I'll just change the reactivity up 1 notch, right? This is at 2 right here. Swing over it fast, it's not hitting it, right? 2.5 right here. Right, it's coming in through a lot better at my normal swing speed. Now I'll go up to 3, watch this, right? Right, smashing it. Swinging fast and wide sweeps, right? The normal swing speed. I'm not going around like this everywhere, right? I'm not going like this everywhere. I'm swinging fast, right? I want to hit on those deeper targets. That's not a really deep target. But when you do want to go deeper, you got to swing slower. I understand that, but this is only a 5-inch dime. And now I'll jack my auto response up here, right? The auto response is at 4 right now. Here's a little trick I've learned with the Deus 1 and Deus 2. If you drop your auto response down to a lower setting, it attenuates that EMI. Watch, I'll drop it down to 2, right? Quieted it down a lot, but I'm in 2-tone, so I'm still going to be getting that EMI, right? Because it's that EMI is within the range of my target tone, right? So I'll jack it up to 7, like that program that I was sent, right? Or I think it was at 6, right? 6 audio response. Still hitting it, but I can't have that amount of EMI, right? In the place that I hunt, cannot do it, right? Cannot do it, right? So I'll just go with the Deus 1 here, and I'll show you the same thing, right? The same thing happens with the Deus 1 machines, right? Just turn it on here. The dime is right here. I'm in the deep program. I was in deep high conductor with that machine there, and that's running at the lower frequencies. This HF coil, deep high conductor, because with this program here I can change frequencies within this program. With the Deus 1 or the Deus 2 I cannot change frequencies within the programs unless I'm in mono frequency, right? So I'm at 14 kilohertz, the lowest frequency, almost the lowest frequency. I can go a little bit, do a frequency offset, but that's not super important. So the deep program, this deep program also has a high auto response and a low reactivity speed, right? I'm still getting the same EMI, right? Same EMI. Well, this target right here. It's hitting it just a little bit better, right? About the same. I'm not getting as much EMI, but it's not hitting it as good. This is the HF coil, and that's running at multi-frequency too. So I'm gonna get more EMI, but it'll hit it better because it's running in lower frequencies, right? But it's recovery speed then here, right? It's only a 5-inch deep dime, right? Now I'll just change a couple things. And that's 6.1 discrimination. This one's 5.5 discrimination. So I'm gonna be getting some more EMI with this because I'm lower. It's a 2-tone also, right? It's pretty much based on the same program, but that one's multi-frequency. And now I'll just go over to my reactivity speed here, right? Here's the dime right there, right? 2 reactivity speed. This is stock program right here. Right? And actually, I'll ground balance this machine here, right? $83. The mineral bars all the way, 81, 81. Not a little bit too much there. 82, 83, right? Now I'll change the reactivity speed here. Reactivity speed 2. Right. It's hitting it just one way, right? It's hitting it pretty good actually that way, right? Single frequency machine, right? Now I'll go to 2.5 reactivity speed right here. Changes a lot, right? Changes a lot. Just one setting just change, right? Now I'll go to 3 here. I'll smack it right out, right? Look at how much faster I can swing, right? Now I'll go over and drop my auto response down. Watch, listen. Down to 2. It quiets up a lot. Stabilizes the machine, right? And now I can get a lot better depth indicator by tone, right? I know it's a deep target right there, right? Now I'll jack it up, right? Crank the auto response up to 6, right? I can't have that, man. I cannot have that EMI in the background there because it's my audio target tone, right? So I'll drop it down to a normal level here. Now I'll just go to hot program, right? It's a 5-inch deep dime here. Go to the hot program, right? Oops. We'll go to Deus Fast program. Try that 3-tone. Right? Now watch what happens when I drop my audio response down, right? My audio response is down to 4. I'll go to 2. I usually don't have it at 2. Sounds just a whisper, right? And it's giving me a good solid tone, right? Drop the EMI down a little bit too, quite a bit, but I usually have it at 3, right? I can settle with 3. Most of the time I settle with 3. Look at that, see? You got to understand that this is the HF coil and it's not going to hit on higher conductors really that great at 14 kilohertz, right? But that's a pretty easy target for this coil here. Now I'll raise my audio response up here because it's at 3, or it's at 3 on this program here, stock. And watch what happens when I raise it up to 5 here, right? Getting a lot of chatter, right? So there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages to changing these settings here, right? And every site is specific for these detectors, right? Especially for the Deus 2, right? The Deus 2, I cannot run just one program in all, like this curb strip is different from that curb strip right down the street there. Or one part of the field is different from the other part of the field. Or when you get an iron or around the basketball courts or the picnic benches. The Deus 2, I'm having to make a lot of adjustments. With the hot program on the Deus 1, I can just swing the Deus 1 with the hot program and go around everywhere. To the hot spots, to the trashy spots, to the top lot, to the iron, and do pretty good in the hot program, right? And not have to make too many adjustments. With the Deus 2, it's a lot different, right? Much different. Once you guys get some hours on your Deus 2, you will understand, right? It's a lot more sensitive machine to smaller targets, and the Deus 2 is a normalized detection, so you're going to get the same target tone on, like if you sweep over a pull tab, it doesn't matter what frequency you're going to be in, you're still going to get the same audio response from that target, unless you're in pitch tones. You can change your tones, you can change your pitch in the pitch tones, but when I'm talking about full tones, right? The full tones on the Deus 2, those smaller targets are going to be just a little whisper, right? They're going to be really low tone. And with the Deus 1, I can change my frequency and I can get a lot better response on those, go up into higher frequencies, especially with these HF coils. The X35 coils on here, you can normalize and turn your normalize off on that coil, on those coils, but they don't make a big difference. It's very similar to the Deus 2, the X35 coils. I think they're very similar. The Deus 2, 1 HF coils set themselves apart with the Deus machines, right? Because you can hit on that small jewelry, and all that small stuff will give you high tones, and that's really what I'm after. I'm wanting a crisp, clear tone in the trash, right? And getting those, getting that surface trash out. And I've noticed with the Deus 2, all that foil sounds the same, right? Because they're just lots of low conductors, and it's hitting on that foil. So I have to notch that foil out with the Deus 2. With the Deus 1, I don't. You know, it can kind of be a mess trying to dial in the Deus 2, and a lot of people been asking questions, you know, what settings did you have during that video? I have no idea what settings I had, because I changed my settings so much on the Deus 1 or the Deus 2. You know, every site is specific, right? Sometimes 15 or 20 feet away, you might have to make a few adjustments, because the Deus 2 is a very sensitive machine. It's a deep seeking machine. And, you know, the programs that I have that are working well in some sites, I have to adjust them day to day, right? The settings, you know, in these certain programs. And I've been kind of thinking outside the box, you know, using the beach program in the curb strips, and it's been performing very well. In pitch tones, right? In full tones, it's just not possible, right? To dial in the Deus 2, it's a lot more finicky than the Deus 1. But if you have some hours, or if you have some experience with the Deus 1, it'll really get you past that learning curve a lot faster with the Deus 2. That's just a couple settings that, you know, really have a great impact on EMI and your swing speed, right? And I want to swing fast. I want to get the surface targets out fast, the jewelry out fast, and the Deus 1 HF coil, I can swing really fast. I can even get away with dropping my audio response, or my my reactivity speed down a little bit when the ground is not wet. The ground is not saturated right now, but the HF coil, the HF coils do not really perform that great in super saturated hot soil, right? In really wet soil. That's when I prefer the X35 coil. I struggled a little bit at first because I was with the Deus 1, because I was trying to push the detector too deep, right? With the Deus 1, it's not a really super deep machine. Yeah, some people may disagree with that, but the Deus 2 is a lot deeper. And I have really hot soil, so you gotta understand that. I have extreme soil some days, especially when it's wet or in trash. You know, I get a lot of those really odd tones with the Deus 2 in my really wet soil here. You know, it's I get saturated tones when I'm in full tones. But I've been using the Deus 2 in pitch tones, and it is absolutely amazing. It knocks the socks off the Deus 1 by a long ways, right? I have some great videos coming out here very shortly with the Deus 2 in pitch tones. I've found a lot of really cool relics. I haven't been finding a lot of jewelry, but I'm working on it, you know, trying to get that jewelry program like in the top lots and in the trash. That's what struggles a little bit, you know, in the high trash in full tones. But I've been using, like I said, I've been using the pitch tones, and it is, wow. I'm very, very impressed with the pitch tones. Not too impressed with the full tones in the trash, because I have to make a lot of adjustments with the Deus 2, especially when I'm in trash. Different programs work differently in full tones, -6.4 discrimination. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.